you need to have a piece of card underneath the hinged arm, and as that drops onto it, this piece of card should sit under here. It makes cutting this mount a lot easier than if you have no card here. And if you don't have any card here, you also begin to ruin the cutter and the blade as it digs into the wood of the mat cutter itself. So we've got the piece of card under there, and we're now going to place the mount board under the hinged arm, and we're going to do it in such a way that always, once we bring this in and dress it, the line that we're going to make the cut on lies against the edge of this hinged arm. And again, always when you're cutting, the area you've marked must always be to the right of the hinged arm. If it's to the left of it, i.e. over here, you're going to create a reversed bevel. So, align and adjust to here. And we're then going to use the bevel cutter here. And once you get it out in the kits, it'll be supplied with fresh blades, so they should always be sharp for you. It is a precision instrument, so don't start messing about with anything. It's set up particularly for cutting the mounts, the type of mounts you're cutting. And it's also a very sharp instrument as well, so care needs to be taken at all stages of using this. If you look onto this side of the cutter, there's an engraved line. That's crucial when we're lining up against our lines as a guide in terms of where we're going to cut. I'm going to place this with these lugs onto the edge so it's nicely running, and you can see that it's a really free run. And then I'm going to bring this engraved edge to about 2 millimeters in front of the first line. I then, holding the cutter so it doesn't slip, I press down fairly hard, but again not too hard, and I make the first cut up. So travelling up here, first cut up, and again just about a millimeter beyond. So at that point, pull out the blade and then rotate the card in an anti-clockwise direction and repeat the process again. So again, lining up the line onto the edge, coming through a couple of millimeters in front, press in, run up a millimeter again and pull out. Repeat the process again, anti-clockwise, and always keeping the area that you're cutting out to the right so that the cutter is sitting inside of that. Again, repeat that process, a couple of millimeters in, up, about a mil away, and again, last cut, same thing, a couple of millimeters to the bottom, in and up, and this should now drop out nicely for you, and you've got the area that you want cut. Fairly clean edges, no rag, no ragginess, and fairly straight. Now this should, if we've measured correctly, sit really nicely upon our print here. And it shouldn't show any white edging anywhere around here. If you cut it too large, you'll end up with this sort of thing occurring, where you've got a part of the print coming in. So just sit on the print nicely, which this one does. The only thing we've got to do now is to get this taped into this area here, using some masking tape, which you'll have to provide for yourself. Take the mount off the print, we know it's okay. First thing to do, just a little bit, 2 little bits of the tape cut And just stick those underneath so that they actually stick onto the print and leave some of the sticky on the top facing up, because we're going to place the print onto this. Then again, underneath, and you've got the sticky coming on top. We can now address our mount to the print itself. So here we go, this is where we want it. And at this point, just press hard, again with clean fingers and thumbs, onto the corner here, where you know you've got the sticky area. At that point, the print is attached. Just flick it over. And now we're simply going to run the tape along each side from here. I like a nice clean back, and I'll often say that I can tell somebody's technique simply by the back of a print, and sometimes when I'm interviewing, the first thing I do is look at the back of the print rather than the front of a print. It tells me how the student is actually working, how clean they're working. We just bring this, and we now use these guides, these lines that we've already created here, because we're going to actually put our tape onto those lines, and that will give us enough to hold that print nicely into position. And then with the scalpel, just make a clean cut and pull away, and just repeat that through the 4 areas, again, the 4 lengths of the print. Rotate. Cut. Last one now, rotate again. And cut down. Tidy off the end. Just looks neater. Take away. It's all nice and square on the back. Once we turn over, we've got the print nicely within the beveled frame.